Nadszedł czas zmiany, przejścia do prawdziwego działania wszechświata. I nadszedł czas, aby zrozumieć, że używamy stanu materii, by osiągnąć poziom zrozumienia duszy człowieka. Teraz rozumiesz, być może, dlaczego Kreator wysłał swoich posłańców w imię tego, co miałeś. To oni przynoszą uszy, aby można było ich użyć, gdy nadejdzie czas Mesjasza. Mogę nauczyć duszę i przesłanie. Nie by się przeciwstawiać, ale poprzez ich zrozumienie przez tych, którzy stali się Mesjaszami, aby dawać ze swoich dusz, aby ich elewować. Zadanie stało się łatwe. Szkoła jest tutaj i uczniowie są tutaj w oddaniu. Wtedy nie będzie żadnej walki między tym, co nazywają muzułmanami, a chrześcijanami. Baranek i lew będą jeść i spać w tym samym gnieździe. Chrześcijanie i muzułmanie będą spać i modlić się w meczecie, w tym samym kościele, w imię ich dusz, nie w imię religii, które są używane do tworzenia tak wielu konfliktów, dla korzyści tych, którzy byli hiperaktywnymi dziećmi. Nadszedł czas, czas zmian jest tutaj. I jak powiedziałem, moje życzenie jest moim rozkazem. Jeśli pragniesz ujrzeć pokój, droga pokoju jest wyłożona bardzo wyraźnie. To dusza świadomości zbiorowej. Poprzez dawanie stworzy tą pozycję zmiany. Nic innego. W duszy człowieka nie ma długopisu. Jestem pewien, że po wejściu do społeczności uniwersalnej nigdy nie zobaczysz niczego zapisanego, ale równowagę pól duszy egzystencji. Staraj się być na tyle pokornym, aby nie stać się aroganckim w mocy, którą zrozumiałeś i posiadłeś. Inaczej wpadniesz w tą samą ścieżkę kościoła i meczetu. To jest to, co obiecaliśmy i to właśnie dostarczyliśmy. Musimy zrozumieć działanie duszy. I musimy zrozumieć, że dusza człowieka jest gwiazdą w kosmosie wszechświata. Jeśli porównamy duszę człowieka i tak wielu nas, 7 miliardów w jednym zbiorze, Ziemia jest jak galaktyka z tak wieloma gwiazdami. Kiedy patrzymy w głąb wszechświata, widzimy galaktyki z setkami milionów gwiazd. Podobnie jest z planetą Ziemią. Niesie 7 miliardów pięknych gwiazd, które są duszą człowieka. Niesie z sobą duszę tak wielu trylionów zwierząt, roślin i wszystkiego innego. Jeśli więc patrzą ci, którzy nie widzą fizyczności Ziemi i jej zawartości, co widzą? Widzą galaktykę z wielką ilością pięknych, świecących świateł. Każda według swojej siły. Każda zgodnie ze swoją pozycją. Niemowlę ma piękną duszę, podobnie jak staruszek. Dla tych niefizycznych, którzy nie widzą fizycznego wymiaru tej planety, ale widzą siłę pola, jesteśmy gromadami gwiazd. Ludzka rasa, każda pojedyncza dusza, nikt z daleka nie widzi. To jest dusza rybaka, to jest dusza kosmologa, to jest dusza prezydenta. Wszystkie świecą bez względu na fizyczność. To jest magia. Oto co nowa nauka musi przynieść człowiekowi. Kiedy patrzymy przez naszą duszę, widzimy tylko gwiazdy w innych duszach. I to jest przełom, to jest zrozumienie. Na tym właśnie polegają te wszystkie nauki. Dojście do dojrzałości następnego poziomu, aby zrozumieć daleki kosmos. Wszechświat jest ostrygą dla tych dusz, które służą. Wtedy człowiek jest gotowy do wejścia w kosmos. Wtedy człowiek jest gotowy, aby stać się częścią uniwersalnej społeczności, która została obiecana. Nigdy nie obiecywałem wam nieba. Zawsze obiecywałem wam elewację człowieka, aby przyłączył się do rodziny. A teraz macie klucz. To wy musicie otworzyć drzwi, aby zrozumieć, że mogę elewować duszę tych ludzi lub milionów innych dusz, że fizyczne życie na tej planecie zmieni się. Wtedy jestem godny bycia częścią społeczności uniwersalnej, by być, aby służyć, aby się rozwijać, by być tam, aby być częścią, że w cyklu życia wszechświata staje się w byciu częścią, staje się częścią totalności. Kiedy człowiek osiągnie ten punkt, pojawi się nowy wymiar w sile duszy człowieka, który jest poza wyobrażeniem zrozumienia życia fizycznego. To jest brama do otwarcia nowego życia w nowym wymiarze, co jest poza wyobrażeniem tego, co mogliście nazwać nowym początkiem, nowym cyklem, gdzie ten cykl niesie ze sobą źródło stworzenia życia we wszechświecie i unikosie. To jest elewacja duszy, aby służyć. Stała się kluczem. Nie tron życia fizycznego. Czas jest odpowiedni, nadszedł czas, aby człowiek przeszedł przez ten proces.
Okej, witamy na 324 warsztatach poszukiwaczy wiedzy w języku polskim. Dzisiaj mamy czwartek, 2 stycznia 2020. Dzisiaj mamy czwartek, 2 stycznia 2020, jest godzina 21. Tematem mamy dokończenie tłumaczenia 307 warsztatu poszukiwaczy wiedzy od 2.20 do końca, do 2.54. Potem zaczniemy kolejny warsztat 308 poszukiwaczy wiedzy od 5 minuty do godziny 15. Gospodarzami są Przemek, Jarek i Marcin. I jak co tydzień, w zasadzie 2 razy w tygodniu, mamy nasze spotkania, to zapraszam jak zwykle do oglądnięcia porcji wiedzy i potem będziemy sobie omawiać, dyskutować zagadnienia, które były poruszone. Żeby nie tracić już czasu, zacznę dzielenie 307, dokończymy ten warsztat, ostatnie pół godzinki.
The Saudis come up. Why do you think the Americans suddenly give everything to the Saudis? Because they knew they couldn't capture the ball through. Now they blame the audiences that you should have jumped in the circle and captured it for us and we get the marks for it. advancement in the technology has given us a condition of peace. This is why we take the World Center leadership to Universal Council into Malta and not anymore to New York and the United Nations. The slaughterhouses of the United Nations will shut very soon. The same with the World Bank and the same with IMF. The strength in the knowledge has to become the strength in the peace, not the weakness and the lack of understanding. I've said directly, show us the numbers on the side of these rockets they claim hit the refinery. You'll find American quota. And they try to cover the face. Shame of losing the game. We got to bring the peace through knowledge and what we call no war policy. As I said, we have to close 3 or 4 loops, and it'll be done in a very soon. It's my vision, it will be done. We try to control most of the Swiss accounts and Luxembourg accounts and Monaco accounts. Now we have to stop the hidden money, finances, stolen money from nations, governments who supply these kind of things into United Arab Emirates. It has become sanctuary for stolen funds and paramilitaries. This is one of the last loopholes. We closed the Bahamas, we closed everything else, or at least we tried to make it as possible transparent. United Arab Emirates has to open the books that any money goes in, who belongs and why. And in that process, it allows a lot of things to clarify and be clear what is happening in Iran and how they're trying to play games with Iran. When I was there a couple of weeks ago, they said something very interesting. Emirates expats Dubai is 7 to 2 at the moment. It means every 7 expats leaves, 2 comes in. Dubai has gone on a decline. You could buy a property for $1 million. Now you can pick it up around about 300,000 in less than 3 years when I left. I took everything out of Dubai. Because it's unjust. And the same thing has to be understood. New technologies has to take place in the world government. You remember that song which says, imagine by John Lennon? Now, imagine all this funding for rockets and everything else in Kile is transferred for knowledge to capture the space, to open space frontiers, to open communication and align with the universal community. Can you imagine what a wonderful will be? This is what has come out of Tehran conference. We will not show Ayatollah Khamenei Iranian leadership as those who are warmongers. We will show as those who set the cornerstones for peace or developing new technologies. This is what a lot has been hidden in public. This is why the sanctions are not so effective. With oil, they took 1/3 of the Iranian finance, not the others. They tried to bring steel sanctions, chemical sanctions, every other sanctions. But now we are so cheap, we are so effective that Iran's GDP export doesn't matter. Oil is just part of it. And most of the Iranian oil export comes back for the Iranians' cars and in a way for refining. We hope in the coming time to use the Iranian education centers and universities and technologies for world teaching. We'll talk about it in the coming time. You want to go to the Center of Excellence for Space Technology, see if in a few months' time, in a few years' time, you can find a place in Tehran universities. As I said, do you know internationally what they call it MIT for? Masters in Theft of Technologies. Not many MIT scientists and the work comes out of it is originated in MIT, it's stolen technologies. They sit in all the boards and see what comes out and then becomes MITs and they try to put patents. This is what happened to Keshe Foundation with Ebola. They stole the technology in the office of the president. 3 months later, MIT, the same person who was in the conference, has published a paper as American Intelligent New Technology for Ebola. When the scientist published the paper, check his passport, it says Sierra Leone 3 months before. As part of the World Health Organization. Master in theft, not MIT. Carry on reading, please.
Okay, we're up to number 5, which is a simple nano-coated copper scrubber as a water purifier. And by copper scrubber, it's those curly, scrubby things that you can get.
We did that. I think with Armin and the Keshe Foundation knowledge seekers, we actually send these with Yokoko to Japan.
Yes, I think I recall something about that.
We done that. I think I saw them. I saw them in the material coming in from where we closed the Italian factory, which they came from. Is Armin in the background? He's in Mexico. He arrived in Mexico this morning. He's there. Armin has no voice. He's at the bottom. I think he's fallen asleep.
Oh, how did he get at the bottom alphabetically? That's a bit of a miracle in itself.
Yeah, but he's got a microphone. We did these scrubbers in Italy. They work effectively, actually.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
and they work effectively.
It's a beautiful idea, actually, and it's very much a doable thing. So the idea might be to, what are the criteria? How long will it last? What's the best way to do it? How effective is it? The percentages and all that. It could be really scientifically pursued as a project.
Yeah, but I think what you got to do is add a little bit to this one. Needs another bit. Is not just copper. There are those who are made of composites. What do you call them?
Well,
they're coated. Yeah, they're coated with other materials. They have a different effect.
Well,
it's galvanized. They use galvanized metal in some of them.
Or platinum or something like that.
No, it's a galvanized. You buy them in the market, the galvanized one.
I see what you're saying. Yes, there's different ones like that. There's the
even
zinc coated. Zinc
coated, yeah.
Possible.
But you have the plastic ones. You can even use those. What's the effect of those rubber scrubbers? The plastic one. If you can nano-coat them.
Some of the copper ones are actually steel underneath, and you have to be careful because if copper wears off and the steel will stain your plates, but those are kind of cheap ones. And some of them are zinc underneath the copper coating, and some of them are pure copper. So there's like these different varieties of the scrubbers. Perhaps a combination of two different types or more would also be good. But like you say,
we lost Arman. He disappeared. I think we woke him up.
Maybe he'll come back in with his. Oh, now he has a voice, I think.
He has a voice. Where are you, Arman? We don't see you.
Hello, Arman.
I'm here.
He's there. He's back. Arman, you remember those rubber scrubbers we used in the Sensano we sent to Tokyo with Yokoko?
Yes.
They want to do a project on it. Or there's a suggestion to do a project on it.
But that ones were copper, Mr. Keshe.
Yeah. But if you mix them with the others, you might get a better result. I know you get a better results because I've done some tests on it. Okay.
And as you mentioned,
add to your rubber scrubbers, add some more data on it.
Yeah, I add the rubber scrubber on there as well.
Rubber scrubber and composites, yeah.
As you alluded to there, the nano-coated copper in the process of making the nano-coating on the copper, you could actually include other elements that might be embedded into that nano-coating.
Yeah.
Could be effective.
Yeah.
So there's roughly 1 billion experiments that could be done with just that alone.
But
so
can we put these on for the, what they call it, KF SSI, that people can choose what topics they like to do? And as I said, we give them platform on Thursdays and on Universal Council meetings on Tuesdays, One Planet, One Earth, that they can come in and solicit for other knowledge seekers to join them in their research or see how they can help them.
Report the progress.
Not the progress, but we need such a person. If there is somebody here that help us with this or the data or whatever, to become part of the knowledge seekers to work, because we have a spectrum of knowledge seekers here with different talents, so they can come and solicit for new knowledge seekers to help them to do their test or whatever. Okay, so, number 6.
Number 6, create gold from mercury with tritium and the basic ganses.
Can you please contact China, what do you call it, Japanese embassy? They'll give it to you. Already been given.
You've talked about that before and laid that out. So it'd be a matter of someone with the passion to go ahead
Like
and
to start testing
that
it.
experiment.
Yep.
Okay. Number 7 is the Maghreb winding adjusted, as in the First Health Blueprint teaching January 26, 2016, with a specific 2 hours, 13 minutes, 33 seconds into it. I can't recall exactly what that was in the blueprint teaching, but there was something about adjusting the winding. Perhaps that was the adjustment from gravitational to magnetical, or vice versa there, where things were changed around.
What's next?
Number 8, plasma capacitor, as in the First Health Blueprint teaching. So to investigate that concept and develop it out, how far can you take that idea, I guess?
I tell you something very funny about this. In a meeting in Beijing with the aerospace people, the material was given them to test. I think we see Wang Lin in the background. Let her explain it, you'll laugh. She was laughing at it when she was telling me yesterday. Wang Lin, you're in the background. Do you see her?
Yes.
Can you hear us? Would you like to tell us what happened in the meeting with the space people and the test you got the results yesterday with?
Yes. Yes, they cut like a piece of the nano-coated copper line wire, and they test. And at night they tell me, yeah, they from the like this side, they test it's a high resistance. This is like a mega ohm above. And they say, but they tested another line, that's just a Cooper resistance. It's not a superconductor. And I was laughing. Because they don't understand what we are talking about. The superconductor is in a nano layer, between a nano layer and layer. It's not like the Cooper.
In the copper.
So, yeah.
So they cut it in half in order to test it and kind of broke the experiment, you might say.
No, you lost the point. The meeting was yesterday with the space scientists and the university guys, and they took a piece of they wanted to test a piece of nano wires. It was taken to the meeting. And because we told them that the material is super resistor and is in mega, and if you go along the wire, it's superconductor, or what you call it, zero time loss. And they took it yesterday morning in a meeting, and they immediately tested it. And by last night, they sent a message back. The nano material, it is a super resistor in mega ohms, which we know, we already announced it, is over 20 mega ohms better than diamond. But they said the claim of being a super conductor is not correct because it's copper. And the reason we laughed is They didn't test to send the message through the nano layer. They tested the copper. They thought the copper becomes superconductor. Do you understand? They never understood. They never understood the testing should be on the nano layer, not on the copper. And they thought.
Well, I had imagined they had probably cut into the wire to attach to it to the copper level. Tested and so on, and basically.
But they didn't test it through the nano layer.
Actually, they have another word after that. They say it's because of the copper wires, when it has electricity goes through and to create heat and create black oxide copper on the surface.
But they don't know how we produce it, which is from outside.
It's totally different.
I think what you got to do, Wang Lin, pardon?
Yeah.
I mentioned it's just a good point. It's a totally different process, though. When the wire overheats, it turns black on the outside, but it also crystallizes and fries the inside of the wire, makes it useless. Whereas the process that Mr. Keshe is talking about is the outside in. And
I think
it's different.
I think what you got to do is send a message back to the space people, Magnet, that this nano coating was done from outside and not with the wire.
Yeah, they think it's because of the wire heated and.
I think you better. I understand that, but you have to explain that to them. Send them a message. Then they understand.
They think it's like eat hot pot, so cook a lot and the pot became black.
No, they got themselves a very hot and very potty pot. Okay, just send them a message to explain to them the blackness comes from process from outside, not from process inside, and it's not a hot pot. Thank you very much. Well, Lin, thank you very much for everything you do in China for us and your team. We just released the products. It's fantastic. Those of you who do not know about a hot pot, do you want to explain what a hot pot is?
I think everybody know what is hot pot.
No, I think only Chinese people who came to China, some might know what a hot pot is.
Actually, it's different from the Western hot pot. Especially in north of China, they have the copper. The shape is more like a hat, like in the Mongolian hat. We are thinking is it because come from that tradition, and put the copper pot, and the center has a column, and burn the carbon under the pot, and
Even charcoal.
Put the water inside the pot. That's a very traditional, like a Peking hot pot.
Yeah, but the thing is, you cook your own food on the table. That's what they call it, a hot pot.
Yes.
This is what. That's why I said people don't understand what a hot pot is. All the pots are hot when you cook in them. But the traditional Chinese hot pot is you have a pot which is with whatever liquid you like to, spices you like to put in the water. And then you put your own meat, you cook your own meat on the table. It's a very popular, what do you call it, passing time for dinner. It's very social.
That's my favorite.
I think it's everyone's favorite when they go to China if you ask for a hot pot. So you cook your own food, the water and the pot is in front of you on the table. And the meats and the vegetables are in plates, you cook it. And they give you instructions, something has to be 8 seconds or 8 times dipped in. You get the best flavor. Thank you very much. Carry on, please.
Okay, we've got number 9 is exercises for emotion and breath. That was kind of a short sentence, but it's a lot to it in terms of we're understanding a need. If it all ties into kind of going to space and to the control of our own spaceship, of our body and our emotions, and the idea that there may be exercises to help in that control and in that you know, in the transitions into these different states or whatever. And you mentioned some things in the past, Mr. Keshe, in that regard. Lying down and paying attention to the breath and slowing down the breath and so on, and explain the difference between standing up and lying down. And
Can I just jump in?
Yes,
I
please.
have to leave in next 7 minutes.
Oh goodness, okay.
Okay, so we come back to this next Thursday teaching.
Okay.
To start people choosing what they want to do. Would you like to read the rest?
Okay,
And tell us.
Sure.
You got 3 more left here.
Yeah. We've got the Maggrav pulse generator, and people have been interested in that for a while. That was sort of the original idea with the pulse in the refrigerators that were used with the Maggrav, but this would be more sophisticated, some sort of way of generating that pulse, either through electronic device of some sort, or perhaps with a more field-based effect that could perhaps interaction of the fields which will produce the pulse. Number 11 is the what I call the eye test tube, which is basically a multi-field sensor that will plug into an ordinary computer. And it would be, in this case, encased inside of a test tube, but it would sense the fields. So the idea would be to work with different types of circuits and interactions and transformations there, that somehow we can get some kind of feedback that can be looked at and analyzed and you know, worked with and maybe replicated by others so they can experiment with it as well. Of course, the best sensor, which we talked about this in the Keshe Plasma Reactor group, is our own human physicality body, the machine that we run around in all the time seems to have lots of sensing features. And we actually, Jedi Simon came up with a list of 40 different sensing apparatuses that that we can use to, you know, different ways. 5 senses that we were so limited to in the early days of our life, until we only have 5 senses and 1/6 one that you're not supposed to talk about, but we actually have dozens of different senses. Anyway, to try to get some sort of objective or some kind of readout on the fields of the environment. Number 12 is emotional balancing devices. I think it was one of the knowledge seekers came up with the idea of the emotional dialysis machine. And I thought that was a nice phrase.
I think emotional dialysis machine will come to the enhancement unit.
Yes, that's what it's kind of based on in a way.
Actually, what I would like to invite a lot of knowledge seekers to design projects around the enhancement unit. What do you want to see? What is the result of if you change things? So you can launch research on different application and position or whatever. And as I said, in Arizona, we're placing 10 units in Arizona. And 6 of these units are for medical application. The other 4 are part of the space research, which we're inviting the American scientists to join us and the Iranians. And we would like to see what happens if we change some parameters. If you come up with a setup, you want to see what's the effect on the emotion, what's the effect on production. 4 of these units are specifically for research, production of materials, and all sorts of things like this. You can go to Arizona for 2 months, 3 months, whatever, to test.
Well, you had one little brainstorm before the meeting today when you mentioned some sounds that could be played as you get into the unit. Maybe it was kind of a
that
joke,
was offline and all that. Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
one of our Iranian scientists is a musician, and I've asked him to look into this.
Right. So there might that's part of the environment, right? So
yeah, he started it,
and
and I want to encourage it. Yeah. So use the technologies we have, even if some products are on the net, you want to test it for different things. These, if you look, all the 12 here more or less are from practical point of view, from Rick's Wednesday teachings programs, because these are all people who like to play with the screwdrivers, I call them, with Rick. In the Universal Council.
We're getting away from that now, Mr. Keshe. A lot of it is we don't think about the matter. We try not to think about the matter level stuff in a way, but we still, you know, we're in these matter level bodies, and we still have some desire to play around and you know in different dimensions, and part of that can help others to get to their next step. So this is all part of it, I guess. Same as all the products that come from the Keshe Foundation, you know, it's all helps to everyone to get to the next step in their evolution, to elevate. It's kind of the name of the game, I think.
Yeah, but it's good to see what the what do you call it? Knowledge seekers in Universal Council will do, and what ideas they come on the spiritual level, on the soul level, they want to research and see or do theoretical research.
Yes, that's right. We need more input. We need
different topics.
Yep.
As I said, we might have some news for you very soon regarding other aspects of the global operation and facilitating these things. Is there anything else, or I have to travel? I have to travel. Yes, I don't have time. As I said, in past few weeks, you've seen us. We're traveling around the world. We travel to do a lot of other things, and I give my best wishes and a beautiful Christmas for those who believe in the path of Christ on Wednesday. And I'll be meet next Thursday, which is a Boxing Day, and as you know, Boxing Day in Christian calendar is when you put a box to give to those who served you during the year the tradition of the Boxing Day is that you leave a box for a postman outside to thank you for all the posts delivered. You leave a box for a milkman outside as a gift in it. And it's known as a Boxing Day. It's the day when you thank those who served you during the year. We hope we can do this next week to those who serve the man nation. And it's not as you box it, you thank them. And let's see what we can have, what we can do, and how we can do with it. Anything else?
Always say goodbye. Always more, but we have to let you go, Mr. Keshe. So thank you so much for today's
Thank you indeed.
Teaching.
Yeah, thank you very much, and thanks for all your support. And we hope we start a new cycle today to stop the wars, to start teaching the new peace, and showing the tools which can be used to create pleasure from it. All came in one teaching.
Yes,
thank you very much.
One comment before you go from Shine in the Q&A, who says, I used this technology with the African swine fever and it worked. So that's a testimonial.
Yes, we know.
Message before you go. Thank you, Mr. Keshe.
Yeah, thank you very much indeed, and goodbye.
Okay.
Dobrze, to była końcówka już 307 warsztatu poszukiwaczy wiedzy. Jeśli ktoś ma jakieś komentarze albo tematy do poruszenia, to zapraszam do otwierania mikrofonu, dzielenia się wiedzą. Dobrze, to może tradycyjnie tutaj szybko streszczę, co było omawiane. Akurat w tej końcówce mieliśmy dokończenie tej listy pomysłów, projektów na prywatne zajęcia angielskie, które teraz od nowego semestru, od 14 stycznia tego roku będą odbywały się właśnie w formie zorganizowanych grup zorganizowanych wokół właśnie tego typu projektów, które widzieliśmy dzisiaj na ekranie, które były tłumaczone. Myślę, że odnośnie polskich poszukiwaczy wiedzy, jeśli ktoś ma też jakieś pomysły, wiadomo, tutaj są dwa aspekty. Pierwszy to jest zbieranie pomysłów, też fajnie zaproponować coś, co chcielibyśmy, to jest interesujące, a chcielibyśmy, żeby zostało w ten sposób zaprojektowane, zbadane, zrobione do tego, żeby mieć to urządzenie, mieć jakiś sposób, powiedzieliśmy, pomysły różniły się od urządzeń fizycznych, także do sposobów na przykład operowania w polach, czy odczuwania pól, także można powiedzieć, skala tego wszystkiego, jak w taśmie jest od fizyczności aż po samą duszę, więc jeśli ktoś ma jakieś pomysły, to proszę gdzieś tam na grupach na Facebooku, czy gdziekolwiek jesteście w stanie nas znaleźć, żebyście pisali, czy też na warsztaty przyszli i powiedzieli, możemy takie pomysły omówić, to może zostać zaproponowane, umieszczone na liście tych projektów i tak jak mówiłem, to jest jeden aspekt, proponowanie tego, co chcemy, żeby było zrobione, drugi aspekt realizacja tego, myślę, że też jest możliwość uczestniczenia. Dr Keshe, nawet dla tych, którzy nie znają języka angielskiego, Dr Keshe mówił o tym, że na Telegramie tutaj, że są różnego rodzaju wtyczki czy aplikacje poboczne, które umożliwiają tłumaczenie tam na żywo tych wiadomości, które są wymieniane. Gorąco zachęcam do proponowania projektów, potem też można próbować do pewnego stopnia uczestniczyć. Wiadomo, to będzie zależało, skoro te zajęcia są po angielsku, od znajomości angielskiego, czy mają właśnie urządzeń do tłumaczenia aplikacji. I teraz mamy już w sumie drugi warsztat, czyli 308 od 5 minuty 55 sekundy puścimy. Słuchamy sobie kolejnej dawki wiedzy. Zapraszam.
Go for delivering today's workshop.
Yes.
Oh.
Good morning to you as usual, wherever and whenever you listen to this series of knowledge seekers. As is tradition, today is the second day after Christmas, so we call the Boxing Day. We wish you all a Merry Christmas and the best that what we call the world of the soul and physicality of the man can bring. Many of us have still got a few seconds left of it before it tips over to the second day, to the Boxing Day, and some of us are already halfway through what we call the Boxing Day. It is nice to be here again and be able to share more knowledge and enjoy sharing it. There are a couple of things which we would do, let you know. First thing is that next week's teaching, next Thursday, will move to 12 o'clock Central European time, not the usual 9 o'clock. The reason for it is, as usual, from the first day of working day, we are back on track and I'll be traveling, and it's not good to be like the last time in Dubai, half cooked. So if you move it by 12 o'clock, we'll be in right position, arrived, and we can share knowledge. And if it turns out to be good for many people, we might shift the teaching to 12 o'clock. I know some people don't like it on the west coast of United States, but as we say, United States is not everything on the humanity, only 3% of the population. On the other hand, we will carry on back to 9 o'clock the week after that. And I hope, as I said, every teaching from now on, more or less the way we see it, comes different weeks from different part of this planet. We are in different place today, next week in different, and the week after again in different, and the week after that in different country, and then we have what we call the Malta conference, and then the whole cycle starts. And this carries on till what we call in April, in the beautiful city of Tehran. If you are aware, we announced, and from next week, we open the booking for Tehran conference. Tehran conference, as I announced to the Iranian teaching chat rooms on Monday, and we indicated last week, will be a pivotal point in the world of the teaching of technology and the world of science. For us, and most probably beginning of a new cycle. Tehran conference is open to as many people as who can travel to Tehran. We encourage you as knowledge seekers to attain visa to attend the conference. The Iranian Keshe Foundation has been discussing and has been debriefed about the Tehran conference. The difference between Tehran conference is we try to organize that you only need a ticket to get to Tehran. The length of the conference you stay in Tehran will be handed over as much as it can be done to the Iranian Keshe Foundation team, which means you will live amongst the Iranian families. you understand the reality of what we call Iranian culture of hosting and the love of Iranian nation. They have started the process. We can hopefully accommodate as many people as can come. And in this process of 4 days of conference, the total space technology from the Iranian scientific point of view and the Keshe Foundation will be shared. Which means in the conference, the Iranian teams have started organizing themselves to show different aspects and technologies they have developed or they are developing through the space technology. We have already asked the Iranian government to accommodate up to 2,000 what we call representatives from Keshe Foundation, the Iranian Keshe Foundation, and the diplomatic and the political scene of Iran, to the extent that the invitation goes to His Eminence Ayatollah Khamenei of Iran. As I explained, we have reached the point of peace. And as we see it with the new development in technology, the war systems of the present time has become obsolete, as we have seen with the American Navy, Air Force, and everything else that they could master in the Persian Gulf for past months, but they could not utilize it because the damage done by their attack on Iran was so destructive to themselves. We saw the end of wars, and we saw how the most sophisticated rockets which were targeted to Tehran was scientifically and technologically returned back to the sender, as I said in my teachings before, and accidentally, as I said, you remember, go back to the teaching, return to the sender. There is no such address. As I said, when the friend sends you a gift and you don't need it, you give it back to the friend. It depends if he has a use for it. When the rockets, the most advanced missiles, were targeted Tehran and it was returned, it landed in the Saudi Arabia refinery. And they could not find anybody else to blame except Iran, because they launched it. So they got their own gift back, and they were so embarrassed to say such a thing that, as you saw, they tried to give their air forces to see if they can get more in, and they gave it to the Saudis and couldn't do anything with it. Because Saudis, when they examined the wreckage of the rocket, it had all American data on it. This is one thing the Americans could not tell to the public. The refinery and the fire we saw in the Saudi Arabia was a return of a gift. Unfortunately, the ball could not be caught by those who sent it as a gift, and it caused mayhem. This shows the beauty of the knowledge and the technology, that we do not need to attack, but we have the technology to make the present weapon technology obsolete. And this is the beginning of the peace. And in this process, as I explained to the Iranian, what we call Keshe Foundation team, this obsolescence of the weapons of the present time, the most advanced, has created end of wars. But at the same time, it has created a new dimension, that someone has to take the lead in a technological and knowledge of man in the advanced technology. And there is no nation better than Iran, who is the cradle of the knowledge and love. So in Tehran, we take the leadership in science and technology on the banner of the humanity. And this is where the turning point comes. This is taking leadership by science, by peace, and not by weapon and murder and mass murder as we have seen in recent past and over hundreds of years by mankind. Therefore, if any of you would like to come to the conference in Tehran to see the first step in science and technology of the space and change in the evolution of science, Tehran conference is the beginning of that cycle. And as I advise the Iranian government officials, it's time to take the leadership the way Dariush did and Kurush. On this way, please go to the Keshe Foundation website, register yourself. We'll pass your names to the Iranian officials for clearing for your passage to Tehran. And secondly, we pass your names to the Iranian Keshe Foundation community to arrange and accommodate you on your arrival in Tehran. Means they will facilitate the Iranians who take you to their home, most probably pick you up in their cars, and you'll be taken to the love of home. We bring the change both scientifically and to the soul of the man. We even will invite the world leaders and the world ambassadors to attend the Tehran conference. And one of the best one will be the offer of the invitation for the Iranian officials to the President Trump. Maybe that'll be the only chance he'll get to attain a Nobel Prize for Peace and maybe a path to the second election, winning it through change of attitude. On this platform, it makes it something very easy. It's the responsibility of every Keshe Foundation supporters, knowledge seekers, to write and invite your diplomats, your politicians, and your head of states to Tehran for the conference, for the original scientific conference, which will lead to peace conference. How you go on the media, how you go use the public platforms on the internet, how you spread this invitation around the world, and the success of it is in your hand and the direction set by Universal Council and Earth Council. The beauty of it is that we take the leadership as one nation, one planet, and as one race, we guide the rest of the humanity to the new path, knowledge, the strength through the knowledge and technology for peace. This is the message of Christmas for the humanity. In so many ways, we all have worked to this target, to this goal, and we bring it to this point. Every effort will be made that we can and we do, and facilities to be made available that in a way humanity starts a new course. Showing new technologies, showing salvation from the pains and problems of the past, gradually changing and financing peace and new technologies than war. Caroline says to me yesterday, do we need to go to Malta and build a center there? Why don't we make it on a ship? I said, I thought about it already. But at the present time, one missile can create us a lot of problems. But if we can push the world community towards the peace, maybe the most latest advanced naval warships, which are anchored 700 kilometers in the Indian Ocean by the Americans, will change and become flag bearers of peace to go around the world instead of delivering bombs and rockets. They deliver new education, science, and technology. They become flag bearers of peace. It's very easy. We don't need to dismantle them. It's easy to change them into education centers, into health centers, and put them around the world to help to change, to convert a lot. We make men of peace from men of arms. And you got to understand, these people are highly educated most of the time, most of them. So in a way, they change their clothes to teaching and culture and changing. And does not take much. It just needs one man to open the eye of the man to the inside of the peace. And we see Tehran conference to be the beginning of. And so, as our webmasters open the Keshe Foundation registration for Tehran, the only thing you need is ticket of love. We saw John sitting in God knows how many hours of traveling from Argentina to be in the conference in Brazil and returning back, an old man in his 70s, more or less. But the journey was there to make, because it makes that difference in the soul. List your name and come to Tehran. And when you go to the embassy, write down, we are going to the conference, Keshe Foundation, from 19 to 22nd in the beautiful city of Tehran. As I said to the Iranian Keshe Foundation, if you invite and one minister accepts to attend, the Iranian minister has to accept his invitation of arrival. Which means if any of you have connection with a president or a prime minister of your nation, or you can do what the Italians did in the Italian parliament when the Keshe Foundation key was released, to invite, and he requests he wants to attend their conference, the Iranian leadership has to accept and be present. This is the international law of engagement by the world leaders. This engages many of us. And this is the beginning of taking leadership in technology and science and peace. It comes to one point. Do we exclude nations, or do we invite all? You have to understand, on arrival in Tehran, and on availability of the what we call enhancement systems, would any of the world leaders will dare to take the step in? And would the voice of the man, when going in, will be different than the voice of the man when he comes out, man or a woman? Or would we get into what we call the pleasure of the Iranian masterpiece of work, what we call taraf, which means you go first, please. No, 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 you go first, please. See which leaders will take the first step into the new dimensions of peace by entering the enhancement unit universal system. Would they walk in because of their illnesses, or would they walk in to enhance and elevate their souls, that by stepping out they reach a new level of leadership? And maybe on a stepping out will reach the Prophet of Baha'u'llah, bless his name, who said that the time will come that no man will take the crown of leadership, as they see each other as equal and in love with each other. It's a very delicate point, and in a very, very slow way, I have guided the Keshe Foundation and humanity to this point. And from now on, it's in your hand. Keshe Foundation followers, supporters, or Keshe Foundation, what we call anti or whatever. Let's see how we can bring peace through the knowledge and technology. Just before we start, I was explaining to Rick, I had a very strange but beautiful experience. I was in an airport lounge. Sitting next to him was an American woman, and on the other side of her was an American man. Very interesting, attention-seeking, enjoying the presence of children. As I found out later on, they couldn't have any children, so they enjoyed the presence of them. And in my talk, he said he's from Washington. I thought, a Navy man, a national security guy, his haircut, his manner of walking, very extrovert, American as usual, but somebody connected to military. The haircut of the American military goes with them till they go to grave. And in talking, he said, I am the first pilot who flew the F-17 and very proud of it. And if you know, F-17s are one of the latest man-killing machines by the Americans. And I answered him in a simple way. I said, with the new technology, all the present weapon technology is obsolete. We have war. If we manage to create new weapons out of the new plasma technology which has come up, and he could not take it. He could not see what he worked and he was so proud of, hit the dust. And maybe this is where we have to go. We have to lead. We have to understand the world leaders need to set a new line of communication for humanity to explain the new advancement in peace and new advancement in equality of man through knowledge and technology. As I said, and now you understand why I put Tehran conference in such a distance to build up for it. The Iranian Keshe Foundation have already started the work, and they said they have a committee group of 30 or something. They can start, and they have enough to be able to support such a position. You got to understand the Iranian mentality. As soon as you say you have a guest, they all invite the guest, and as soon as say it's a foreigner, oh, they're worshipped. So when you get to Tehran, don't get surprised that you get smothered with love, kisses, and cares and tarof, when the best seats and the best restaurants in the house and the city is for you for the time you're in Tehran. Does not matter if you're a layman or a president. This will create a dilemma for the Iranian government to accept such a conference in such a short term, or to take the leadership in science and technology and the evolution and development of the new space technology. In the coming days and weeks, I will be in touch closely with the Iranian officials, trying to accommodate, for them to understand the position of the Iranian scientists that leading in nanotechnology, in what we call the present rocket, nuclear, and all the advanced technologies the Iranian scientists have grown, homegrown, and lead the world in many aspects. Now it's time officially to take lead the mankind to the progress of development of peace and technology, and abandoning wars and conflicts. I wonder if our Hebrew Universal Council can invite the Israeli president to Tehran. Or we can get the rabbis to return to Tehran, where most of them, born and bred through their ancestors. Would we see the Italians be strong enough to see themselves in a position to invite the Vatican and the Italian leadership? The Tehran conference is not just scientific, but is a total science and technology to create condition of peace. We encourage all the Keshe Foundation knowledge seekers. If you have achieved evolution in the technology, let us know. We invite you to present it. And I hope we don't get a lady from Italy who wanted to show a game. And then when we didn't let her show, she became everything wrong with the foundation. These conferences are a serious point for scientists and politicians and diplomats to attend. In so many ways, I have given you the best Christmas gift the Creator could give, the chance of peace and the chance of entry and opening of the universal community. 2020 is the time of change, and 2020 is the time when most of the world leaders were promised the beginning of the world peace, the beginning of the beginning. Either way, as we say, the best mark you can get is 20. Now the mankind has got 2 of them, 20 out of 20. And it's time to graduate towards it. And it's the responsibility of all the Keshe Foundation knowledge seekers to work in this direction. It's not anymore somebody else might do it. I write it. I invite the world leaders. I ask and request the Iranian officials to organize this function that we show the beauty of our new technology and the beauty of new peace and world order. I wonder how much and how far we can meet, and as I said, by 2021, the beginning of the promise of a new life. A new soul will manifest, which the humanity and the universe have been waiting for. This is what we said, and this is what has been the promise of the beginning of the time. Then we will see, are we still going to kill animals to consume? Are we going to destroy more to get advantage for ourselves for a short time and lifespan on this planet? Or we understand more that the small changes we done on this planet, whatever, has had what they call rippling effect in the universal community. Mankind has not seen that yet. As I explained once, it's like a farmer who grows the fruit, and to him, it's just a box of fruit which he sells to go to the big city, that he can have an income from it, that he can live. But that box of fruit lands in the palaces and the tables of the kings and the queens and the leaders of the world without him knowing. Has this been the ripple effect of the man on the universal community? And is it time for the farmer to understand where the fruit of his life work ends up? Has mankind been blind that what he has done, even wrong or right, has had a ripple effect on the creation and the world of the universe? And for the first time, he comes to meet and eat on the table of the kings. Are we going to sacrifice to cut the tree, or are we nourishing the farmer's work to bring a more delicious fruit, but not for the king and the queen, but for a whole nation, that the tree becomes a tree of humanity, the apple which the Adam promised? But as we said, man has never understood the true story of the apple and the Adam. As I explained to one of the knowledge seekers, in the present history of man, you say the man or the Adam took a rib that he made and created the Eve. In truth, there is more extension to this. The man who created the Eve is not the wife. The Eve is the daughter of the Adam. Where he could truly love and where his beauty could be passed down to the rest of his own creation. Now we understand the beauty of the daughter of the Adam, not the Eve. Mankind has always read the stories in half. And maybe now you understand why, when the truth was given to the Jewish leaders, they gave half a story. And they said the blood of what we call faith passes down the woman, the blood of the woman, the daughter, from the mother and from mother to daughter. Now we complete another mystery in the cycle of man. And now we understand the true Eve is the daughter, which is born to carry the beauty of the Creator to be able to replicate and carry both the love and the physicality of the Creator. And that is the time of completion of the cycle of the truth. In so many ways, the apple was the love of man or a physical existence. Now, as we progress towards what we call the Tehran Conference, we build to the next step. We build to the direction of not being interested in how the cores go and how this goes, but we look at the total energy which this technology will create in humanity. A new bloodline, a new blood life, a new cycle, a new air, a new continuity through the daughter of Adam. This is the time of peace. And the peace will come through technology and no other way. A correct, peaceful technology which meets all the needs of the man and corrects all the path and the past. Many of us will come to understand this very soon. It will grow on us in the next few weeks and coming months that the new promised beginning has started. And we don't know any other nation and any other place than the nation of Iran to carry this. Going by historical past, when the man crossed the Strait of Hormuz into the mainlands from Africa, the spread of human race across the Asian, European, and American continent started from just above the Straits of Hormuz when the family is spread. So the land of Iran is the point where the humanity is spread across this planet. And so we go back to the motherland, to where we changed. We accepted the handover from the African continent. And the size and the time of the evolution started. In so many ways, we are all Aryans. Doesn't matter where we come from. As if you're a Chinese or Russian or American or European, the change and the position started just above the Straits of Hormuz, when the water was shallow and mankind crossed into a new area. And the spread across the coastline and further up in the northways. In so many ways, the Tehran Conference is bringing back the whole of humanity to the point of where they divided from where they started. And maybe this time, from this point, again, we start a new evolution of dividing into space, and we start the process of, instead of expanding across the continents of this planet, we expand through our knowledge and new technology across the universe. I am the Messiah. As I said to the Iranians, I am the Messiah of my soul and my physicality, and to me, Tehran is where my soul will find peace, and knowing that the new generation of souls which come from it will carry that wish and that message. It depends on you where your Messiah takes you to. And do not forget, when you put drops of gases in the bowl and it takes motion and becomes dynamic, it creates a common soul to become the soul of all the gases in the bowl. With this motion, we bring man to that point that the new soul of peace will be created in Tehran for all the world leaders and all the men at the same time. This has been our wish, and that's what we planned. The truth is, we have come to that point of maturity, and the knowledge and the science of man has brought us to this point that we see no need for wars, as we have managed to match each other in war. If you think of it, when two animals fight, and when they get tired of fighting because no one of them can win, they talk peace. And when one thinks is stronger and it starts a war, and he thinks he can win, and he gets stuck, at the end of it, ends up on the table of peace negotiations. And mankind has been through all this. Mankind has managed to, in so many ways, master this thing, master the reality of the science of creation. And we are lucky few that are born and be present and witness this point of change. Billions of us born in the past were wishing for it, that they could see it, and billions of humans after this time wish they could be present to be part of it. Tehran Conference is revolution in science and evolution in bringing peace between nations and religions, that they all agree that there is oneness involved, and there is no need to cover it different colors and races and flags and religions and God knows what. As I said, we have just started. Write to your world leaders, write to your diplomats, write to and arrange between each other how many of you will travel to Tehran. We have 100,000 football stadium in Tehran. And we have 10-room conference in Tehran too. You decide in how the mankind will go, will make a power to see, or will become shy, being afraid of what we believe in. Don't be afraid. And if you can sponsor or you can make the way to Tehran, apply and go and arrange plane crash, 200, 300 people, talk to the tour operators. Iranian governments and Iranian nation will welcome. The beauty of it is, when you attend a country for a conference, how can you put embargoes on the nation? Now you understand. Mankind, by killing many Mongol in Hiroshima, thought they have found the ultimate weapon of destruction and killing and power. But actually, that Hiroshima bomb was the starting point of peace, that everybody targeted to kill as many, but nobody dared to use. And we saw it 70, 80 years down the line. Two most powerful nuclear technology, one with science and one with weapon, stood face to face. And they have come to the truth between Iran and the United States. One not knowing what the other one has, and one being fully aware of what other possesses, but both lethal enough to deter from use. We have come to the point of stalemate in the world of war, and this has shown the world community that there is time for peace. There is time that weapons can be put down. The only skirmishes we see will be between the Christians and the Muslims in and around plains of Africa. And this soon will cease to exist. This is the war of religions, who banks more, and this will come to an end by April and onwards, when then there is no more religion to fight for, but the unity of the human and mankind. Vatican has collected enough to put back in humanity. Saudi Arabia has collected enough in Jeddah to allow the humanity to enjoy a new cycle of life. And the other world leaders have learned it's time to talk constructive to change, and it's time to do a constructive work for their nations. As we said, you won't see any charges on Keshe Foundation Tehran conference registration, and as is tradition, especially with this meeting, all your registration will be given to the Iranian national security. You'll be vetted by the Iranian security system, that we all know we go in for peace, and we all know that they know that we know it's time to talk peace. We don't march on the street. We gather to explain the new technology that it marches mankind to peace. We encourage you to show as many application developments in the scientific world in the next 4 months using the technology. We have asked the Iranian scientists to do so. And in so many ways, as I said, now you understand why I said by March 2021, I retire, because I will achieve what I came here for. And the rest will be in the hand of the world leaders and Keshe Foundation knowledge seekers and Universal Council and the Earth Council to carry the wishes of peace from us. In a way, we step down for you to start managing. And I hope that was the best Christmas gift we could ever bring mankind. And I hope you enjoy it. And I hope you gather a strength, unify the Keshe Foundation around the world to meet, to work with, and through the Iranian Keshe Foundation to achieve what we call World Peace Plan. The webmasters will open a new chat line, Tehran Conference World Peace. And all of you can participate on it through Telegram. Has the facility to translate in languages, and you can change it to the language which you want. It will be translated, that you can all communicate together around the world as knowledge seekers. On this new platform, which will be released as we did with Brazil, will be no allowance for disrespect and humiliation, or the talks about the politics of the world. Politics has failed. Science and wisdom of the man has taken over. We want you to use this platform to communicate with all the Iranians, the Chinese, and the rest as a common platform, as the Iran Peace Conference, that it brings us the unity that when we meet in Tehran, we already know each other in so many ways. This is what we call the unifying platform. Try to enjoy each other and try to understand who's going to be where and how you're going to meet and where you're going to meet and how things are going to be done. Invite ministers and invite politicians, invite the laymen on the street and doctors and professors from universities and different governments. I feel sorry for the Iranian government that it has to do such a thing in such a short time. But in so many ways, by what they did a few weeks ago, diverting such a huge damage which was planned for Tehran, now they can use the time of peace to organize for this conference. In a way, when a world leader dies, in a matter of few days, the other world leaders find the time to cancel to attend his funeral and to travel to the destination of burial and celebration of the new leader. Now the world leaders have 4 months to bury the dead of the war, of man's wars for centuries in Tehran, and organize to be there to see the birth of the new life, new generation, new place and dimension. In so many ways, we all going to the funeral of end of wars, and we all going to celebrate the beginning of peace and entry of man into universal community and in the dimension of understanding the world of creation in a much better way without dogmas and prejudices of the past. I know many of the Keshe Foundation knowledge seekers have already told me they are getting ready to be in Tehran. And strange enough, Tehran is ready for you. We make this platform on the condition, that only condition, that the technology will lead us to peace. The technology will lead us for the Americans and the Iranians and the Chinese to work on one platform. How to open space in a way that we do not make the mistakes of the past on this planet. I was watching a program about Himalaya and people going to Everest to conquer the Everest. And in that process, they're very proud and many die and many don't make it to the top. But what they don't show, how much rubbish, debris, and carnage they leave behind at the bottom of the mountain. This time, as we try to achieve the peak, we should make that there is no garbage left on this planet and in the universe, in the brain of the man, in the emotion of the man, and in the direction of unity of the mankind. Clean up that when you start afresh. We invite the Jews back to Tehran, as we invite the Armenians as we gave them home in Jaffa. Iran is the land of Zerdusht. And as is said, the three wise men which came on Christmas. The wisdom of do good, think good, and act good. Pendarani, Gofdarani, Pendarani. I will be releasing new technologies in coming weeks, and different Keshe Foundation knowledge seekers will be welcome to test, to develop, to be ready for Tehran conference. These new groups will consist of a space, fuel, energy, health, environment, materials. Your language should not be the barrier. We bring these groups into KF SSI teachings on Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. This is how the target for KF SSI Monday is set. And in a way, Rick started the process last week. Now, what we want to do is to gather what we call platform of Keshe Foundation experts in different sections on KF SSI to come together on a daily basis to develop, to have these technologies ready to be demonstrated in Tehran. Irrespective of your color, race, religion, American scientists welcome as much as the Iranians and the Chinese. We work on a platform of one race, one planet, one nation. If you know experts in different fields of what you want to do, and the groups are set, invite them. Doesn't matter who they are or where they sit, invite them to the platform of communication and development, and they will participate. The Keshe Foundation KF SSI was set to break the barriers of the religion, race, and knowledge. And from this term starts from next week. You have an idea which can be developed in the next 3-4 months on this basic basis. You have a platform in KF SSI. A number of Zoom channels will be set up for these purposes. And in so many ways, whatever you can imagine you want to develop, we will show you that it can be done inside the enhancement unit and how you need to adapt it to use it. Even those of you who are of a path of belief of Christ, I will manifest the soul of Christ in that machine. Even though you want to see the presence of Muhammad plus his name, you will hear him. If you decide to develop the technology to the level of the soul of time and space of the time of the presence. I'll bring Moses to declare what lies he did, that we understand what has happened in true time. And in so many ways, when they speak, mankind has nothing to do to divide himself. Those of you who understand this will take the path of wisdom. Those of you who don't understand will wither to nothingness. Whatever you can imagine has passed and timed and developed, and you want to develop, will be developed in what we call the Universal Enhancement Unit. Because it's the copy of the work of the universe. It's you who have to understand how that universe created that condition, the time, the space, the soul, and the action of the man. Now, tell the Vatican to open the books and tell the Vatican to close the books and bring the truth what happened. So many people joined the Keshe Foundation on the wrong track. And so many people came to Keshe Foundation, they thought they will find the right track. And in so many ways, you all will find your own ways. And in so many ways, we all find our own ways according to what we understand of the technology and how we decide to direct it and divert it. I have no fear in what is to come. It's a time to rejoice. And in so many ways, a lot of people came around the foundation to see its benefit, and they got disappointed. Ask yourself why and how, and what was the reason, and why did your soul brought you to this journey? And then you'll find the answer. We came to gain a better financial position, or we came to gain a spread of the knowledge on the cover of financial gain from the foundation. Many of you played that game and many of you walked away disappointed. But that is for you to understand. And many of you have come, and through this process will become leaders and become pinnacle points, and you become pivotal points of the new generation of peace. As of next week, we teach more and more in advanced level of the system technologies, not for you or those what are called common man to copy, but for those who are more advanced educated to be able to develop it, that by Tehran conference we can deliver, that it becomes the cornerstones of the new knowledge. Are there any questions?
Thank you, Mr. Keshe. Said to find my microphone there. As usual, I remind the attendees that they can raise their hands and we can allow you to speak. And panelists can go ahead if you have a question. We do have, well, I guess we want to keep the questions to the topics you brought up just now for the first part here. Is that correct, Mr. Keshe?
I hope so.
Okay. I have a question. You mentioned the categories of these groups that would be formed. Was it space and then fuel and
You
energy?
decide. You decide.
Okay.
It's just what we can deliver, what we can bring, and what as a Keshe Foundation can develop. And it's how we see it to be done. As you know, the medical side and what we call the new space technology application is headed by one of the most beautiful men we know in Keshe Foundation, Dr. Rodriguez. He is accepted to head the Keshe Foundation medical section from the teaching development of the new machinery which we have developed. And he will choose, he has a total free hand in bringing doctors and those who can be trained for the new machines which are coming into operation gradually. And he's one of the most capable men who knows the technology. He lives and loves the technology the way I do and understands it. We have another doctor in Iran who's the same, and many other doctors, true doctors, not. These are men of medicine who understand both sides of what is there. And we put a team under the what we call mastership of Dr. Rodriguez to bring this together. Because I think and I believe, and from what I've seen past 20 years, this technology will go first through the health from the man's sphere of his own life. And by seeing progress, he will take new actions to bring the other parts in. And the experiment on the health side will be one of the most extensive ones because everybody wants to know how they can get rid of the cancer and this and that. But on the other hand, then what about the food which caused the cancer? What about the condition of the emotion which causes these conditions? Then these are new researches you need to do. What about the energy fields which it causes? And it leads up to these points and conditions. Many of people don't understand how amazingly we create so much of our own problem through the energy supplies. How we create so much transfer of energy from our soul through the use of energy. These all needs to be studied. These lead to concentration and creation of new diseases of conversion and evolution. And in so many ways, are we going to extend the knowledge beyond the present, what we call physical, pharmaceutical? And are we going to develop new ways to feed the man, new ways of agriculture? In simplicity, if you look at it, when any of you want to do the food and agriculture, What about understanding the totality of the need of the food and the totality of the agriculture? What is agriculture? Or is it the GANS culture? Because at the end of it is you take the energy of the sun, you convert it to protein or nitrogen, you put it in the plant, then you take that plant, whatever it might produce, the root, the fruit, the seed, you put it in the body of the man, you convert it back to the energy, that energy creates the body of the man and enhances and nourishes the soul of the man. Now that we understand the knowledge in totality, do we need to go through this process? Do I carry a spaceship of cows and the wheat with me? Or do I carry the energy transfer that you knowledge seekers now understand and can do in a universal system? Conversion of energy to the need of the man without killing, without building it to kill, to feed. This is the problem in the process of this planet. This is what has not been understood. We say we don't want to kill animals, we don't want to destroy plants to eat. These are a conversion system. Now we have that knowledge. Do we need to go through the processes of creation and destruction, or can we use directly the energy of the universe in the dimension of physicality and the soul of the man? Can we take the energy of the universe through the plasma organs technology and feed the soul of the man, which has been the whole purpose of this killing? We have matured, we have to look at the facts. And how many of you knowledge seekers would like to start testing these in these machines? What level enhances to what level the soul of the man? What do we need to enhance, to use the technology? Enhancement, universal enhancement. It enhances the universe, not the physicality of the man. But I had to show you, this is for cancer, this is for Parkinson, and you all are happy with it because you're so afraid of your own demise. But your demise was set to establish the soul, to free the soul. What are you afraid of? Would knowledge seekers look into what gases do I need, in what condition to create, to feed the soul that physicality is fed for centuries? Then a lamb, an apple, and a creature of the space is not food for consumption of energy. Now you understand. Try to come with there are still gases and there's still things. Caroline says to me the other day, you know, you have to set up different classes for different level of understanding. Those who still want to play with gases and those who still want to talk about the gases and those who developed and they want to play with energy. I said to her, I already thought of it, but there's only one way, and this is the way we're going to open, that those who are researchers teach the others and everybody comes up. Don't be shy, I don't know how to make gases. You never know, do you ever need to make gases if you learn the knowledge of energy transfer through the universe. Maybe that's why you never learn to make gases. So when you decide on these courses, on these platforms, you want to start in KF SSI, invite the world knowledge seekers, world leaders in science to come in, you will get a lot of arrogance, especially if they have a PhD at the end of their name. And the POC says that the man with no PhD understands better than HPD. Do you know what's the difference, PhD and HPD? Hypocrisy. You can guess the rest of it.
Ok, to by było tyle na dzisiaj. Jeśli ktoś ma coś do powiedzenia albo jakieś pytania, jakieś kwestie do przedstawienia, które mógłbym sobie omówić, to zapraszam do śledzą. A jak nie, to szybkie streszczenie, bo dzisiaj już dość długo trwa ten warsztat, dużo materiału. Myślę, że każdy miał czas, żeby przeczytać i zrozumieć na swój sposób to, co było przedstawione. Mieliśmy oczywiście ten warsztat był w drugi dzień świąt, puszczany tutaj. Były też życzenia doktora Keshego dla tych, którzy podążają ścieżką wiary Chrystusa. Później mieliśmy informacje o bookingach na konferencję w Teheranie, które zostały otwarte. Było omówienie tego, jak to ma wyglądać, że poszukiwacze wiedzy, którzy są zapraszani w tak dużej ilości, jak to tylko możliwe, że tam nie będzie żadnych kosztów z tą konferencją i poszukiwacze wiedzy, którzy mieszkają w Iranie, w Teheranie, jest też prośba o to, żeby gościli tych, którzy przyjadą na tę konferencję. Czy było omówienie tego, jak to jest zorganizowane, jakie są cele tej konferencji. Było z powrotem wróciliśmy do tematu z poprzedniego warsztatu, czyli o tych rakietach, które były zawrócone i wylądowały na rafinerię w Arabii Saudyjskiej. Dr Keshe tutaj wielokrotnie wracał do tematu Iranu, który nazywał kolebką wiedzy i miejsca, gdzie dokonuje się obecnie większy postęp technologiczny. I opowiadał też, że początku pokoju będzie właśnie miał miejsce w Iranie. W pewien sposób zapoczątkuje to ta konferencja. Dr Keshe mówił też, że rok po tym wydarzeniu planuje przejść na emeryturę i zająć się badaniami, które wielokrotnie mówił. I tutaj też w tym miejscu poruszył temat, który był także w kolejnym warsztacie, czyli 309 poruszanym, który leciał dzisiaj w języku angielskim. Tam Keshe rozwijał go jeszcze bardziej. Tutaj tylko wspomnę, że była mowa o Ewie, którą tutaj dr Keshe tłumaczy jako córkę, a nie żonę Adama, czyli jego kreację jego duszy, więc tutaj mamy to porównanie Adama właśnie do duszy człowieka, Ewy do fizyczności, czyli w pewien sposób jedno jest stworzone z drugiego, więc można powiedzieć o tym, że jest to w pewien sposób córka naszej duszy, czyli Adama. Tutaj też było podkreślone płeć, czyli właśnie chęć kreacji, dalszego kreowania właśnie poprzez tą fizyczność. O tym także, że ta fizyczność niesie miłość i fizyczność samego kreatora, z którego jest wykreowana. Także o symbolice jabłka, które było miłością człowieka właśnie do fizycznej egzystencji. Marzec, to już mówiliśmy o emeryturze doktora Keshego, Iran. Po raz kolejny ten wątek wraca. Konferencja było dalszy ciąg omówienia tego, jak organizowana jest ta konferencja i szczegółów tego dotyczących. Po raz kolejny było przywołane to powiedzenie, czyli czyń dobrze, myśl dobrze i postępuj dobrze. I było odwołanie tego, porównanie tego w zasadzie do znaczenia trzech króli, do tej symboliki trzech króli. Także było trochę świątecznie, trochę symboliki takiej, którą widzimy w Starym Testamencie. było po raz kolejny o tym nowym formacie prywatnych zajęć w języku angielskim, gdzie już wyniki pierwszych tych badań, które studenci będą sami przeprowadzali, będzie możliwość zaprezentowania tego właśnie na tej konferencji w Teheranie. Po czym doktor Keshe powiedział, że wszystko w zasadzie, co chcemy zbudować, zaprojektować, da się zrobić właśnie w tym systemie uniwersalnym, nawet manifestacji duszy Chrystusa czy Mojżesza, który mógł opowiedzieć o tym, co i w jaki sposób kiedyś tam gdzieś nam przekręcał. Mieliśmy, doktor Keshe mówił o tym, jak wygląda właśnie kreacja, przechodzimy, to są te procesy, które w detalach już omawialiśmy na poprzednich wykładach, czyli jak się tworzy aminokwas, azot, tlen, różne elementy tego, co się właśnie tam kreuje, całego aminokwasu. Później z tego mamy białka, różnego rodzaju rośliny, zwierzęta. Oczywiście na końcu łańcucha pokarmowego często widzimy siebie jako ludzi, którzy odżywiają się, co zostało wykreowane w poprzednich etapach, ale tutaj doktor Keshe prowokuje pytaniem, czy można właśnie nosić transfer energii w taki sposób, jak te systemy uniwersalne, karmić jednocześnie duszę i fizyczność poprzez właśnie transfer pól, a nie poprzez konsumpcję tych pakietów fizycznych energii, muszę powiedzieć. I na koniec zaczęły już się pytania, druga część warsztatu już w niedzielę, także jeśli chcę coś dodać od siebie, to zapraszam, jeśli nie, to będę wtedy włączył czołówkę. Dzięki.
Nadszedł czas zmiany, przejścia do prawdziwego działania wszechświata. I nadszedł czas, aby zrozumieć, że używamy stanu materii, by osiągnąć poziom zrozumienia duszy człowieka. Teraz rozumiesz, być może, dlaczego Kreator wysłał swoich posłańców w imię tego, co miałeś. To oni przynoszą uszy, aby można było ich użyć, gdy nadejdzie czas Mesjasza. Mogę nauczyć duszę i przesłanie. Nie by się przeciwstawiać, ale poprzez ich zrozumienie, przez tych, którzy stali się Mesjaszami, aby dawać ze swoich dusz, aby ich elewować. Zadanie stało się łatwe. Szkoła jest tutaj i uczniowie są tutaj w oddaniu. Wtedy nie będzie żadnej walki między tym, co nazywają muzułmanami, a chrześcijanami. Baranek i lew będą jeść i spać w tym samym gnieździe. Chrześcijanie i muzułmanie będą spać i modlić się w meczecie, w tym samym kościele, w imię ich dusz, nie w imię religii, które są używane do tworzenia tak wielu konfliktów, dla korzyści tych, którzy byli hiperaktywnymi dziećmi. Nadszedł czas, czas zmian jest tutaj. I jak powiedziałem, moje życzenie jest moim rozkazem. Jeśli pragniesz ujrzeć pokój, droga pokoju jest wyłożona bardzo wyraźnie. To dusza świadomości zbiorowej. Poprzez dawanie stworzy tą pozycję zmiany. Nic innego. W duszy człowieka nie ma długopisu. Jestem pewien, że po wejściu do społeczności uniwersalnej Nigdy nie zobaczysz niczego zapisanego, ale równowagę pól duszy egzystencji. Staraj się być na tyle pokornym, aby nie stać się aroganckim w mocy, którą zrozumiałeś i posiadłeś. Inaczej wpadniesz w tą samą ścieżkę kościoła i meczetu. To jest to, co obiecaliśmy i to właśnie dostarczyliśmy. Musimy zrozumieć działanie duszy i musimy zrozumieć, że dusza człowieka jest gwiazdą w kosmosie wszechświata. Jeśli porównamy duszę człowieka i tak wielu nas, 7 miliardów w jednym zbiorze, Ziemia jest jak galaktyka z tak wieloma gwiazdami. Kiedy patrzymy w głąb wszechświata, widzimy galaktyki z setkami milionów gwiazd. Podobnie jest z planetą Ziemią. Niesie 7 miliardów pięknych gwiazd, które są duszą człowieka. Niesie z sobą duszę tak wielu trylionów zwierząt, roślin i wszystkiego innego. Jeśli więc patrzą ci, którzy nie widzą fizyczności Ziemi i jej zawartości, co widzą? Widzą galaktykę z wielką ilością pięknych, świecących świateł. Każda według swojej siły. Każda zgodnie ze swoją pozycją. Niemowlę ma piękną duszę, podobnie jak staruszek. Dla tych niefizycznych, którzy nie widzą fizycznego wymiaru tej planety, ale widzą siłę pola, jesteśmy gromadami gwiazd. Ludzka rasa, każda pojedyncza dusza, nikt z daleka nie widzi. To jest dusza rybaka, to jest dusza kosmologa, to jest dusza prezydenta. Wszystkie świecą bez względu na fizyczność. To jest magia. Oto, co nowa nauka musi przynieść człowiekowi. Kiedy patrzymy przez naszą duszę, widzimy tylko gwiazdy w innych duszach. I to jest przełom. To jest zrozumienie. Na tym właśnie polegają te wszystkie nauki. Dojście do dojrzałości następnego poziomu, aby zrozumieć daleki kosmos. Wszechświat jest ostrygą dla tych dusz, które służą. Wtedy człowiek jest gotowy do wejścia w kosmos. Wtedy człowiek jest gotowy, aby stać się częścią uniwersalnej społeczności, która została obiecana. Nigdy nie obiecywałem wam nieba. Zawsze obiecywałem wam elewację człowieka, aby przyłączył się do rodziny. A teraz macie klucz. To wy musicie otworzyć drzwi, aby zrozumieć, że mogę elewować duszę tych ludzi lub milionów innych dusz. Że fizyczne życie na tej planecie zmieni się. Wtedy jestem godny bycia częścią społeczności uniwersalnej. By być, aby służyć, aby się rozwijać, by być tam, aby być częścią, że w cyklu życia wszechświata staje się w byciu częścią, staje się częścią totalności. Kiedy człowiek osiągnie ten punkt, pojawi się nowy wymiar w sile duszy człowieka, który jest poza wyobrażeniem zrozumienia życia fizycznego. To jest brama do otwarcia nowego życia w nowym wymiarze, co jest poza wyobrażeniem tego, co mogliście nazwać nowym początkiem, nowym cyklem, gdzie ten cykl niesie ze sobą źródło stworzenia życia we wszechświecie i unikosie. To jest elewacja duszy, aby służyć. Stała się kluczem. Nie tron życia fizycznego. Czas jest odpowiedni, nadszedł czas, aby człowiek przeszedł przez ten proces.